Good morning, Chick Time ladies. It is Wednesday, January 16th, which means it's time for another Wednesday Walk in the Word. And literally right now, I am walking. And I've been walking for a bit, so I may be a little winded. But I have to bring my dog to the dog park, even if it's drizzly and rainy and cold like today, because she needs to get energy out. So, while she's playing, we're going to take a little walk in the Word. And so the word this morning is from Genesis 15. I love this chapter. In Genesis 15, if I have to stop suddenly, it's because the dogs are playing by me and I don't want to get knocked over. In Genesis 15, we see God makes the first covenant with Abraham. And this is an amazing moment if you really study the word. It gets missed a lot, but I learned when I was in Israel about the true nature of this covenant. And that is that God had Abraham sacrifice some animals. And what they did is he cut the animals in half and put a half on either side of basically a path. And what would happen in the Old Testament, because they didn't have banks and contracts and lawyers, is when someone made a covenant, the two parties would sacrifice animals, and then the party who had the most to lose in the deal would pass first between the sacrificed animals. And what he would be saying, in effect, is if I break this deal with you, let what was done to these animals be done to me. And then the second party, the party with, the least involvement, they would pass through and say the same thing. If I break this deal, if I break this covenant, let what was done to these animals be done to me. And what's so amazing about Genesis 15, if you read it carefully, Abraham actually slept through the covenant process. He was asleep, and God showed him the separated pieces that Abraham had sacrificed. Abraham sacrificed the pieces according to God's command. He laid them out on the two sides, but then he caused a deep sleep. God caused a deep sleep to come on Abraham. And what happened then, the Bible tells us, is that a smoking pot and then a fire torch passed between the pieces. Now, if you know how God is represented in the Bible, one of the ways he's represented is with fire. So basically what happened here, it's so powerful. God passed between the pieces first, and he said, if I fail you in this covenant, Abraham, let what was done to these animals be done to me. But God knew that he had made a covenant or a deal with Abraham that Abraham could never keep. So then God passed through again the second fire, the smoking torch. And in effect, what he was saying, and Abraham, if you mess up this covenant, let what was done to these animals be done to me. So in other words, God knew he made a deal with Abraham, he made a deal with us that we couldn't keep. So as far back as Genesis 15, he was establishing the pattern. If you blow it, I've got you. If I blow it, I've got it. But he, of course, won't blow it. But he said, if you blow it, I've got it. That is so powerful, and that is such an expression of love. So ladies, this morning, be at peace. God's covenant with you is if you blow it, he's got you. You just have to simply believe. God bless you, and we will see you Friday.